Hey everyone, welcome to Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD, and today we'll be reviewing and analyzing chapter 1093 of One Piece. If this is your first time on my channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you could do your boy a solid, like, share, and subscribe. Would mean the absolute world to me. Anyway, without much further ado, let's get into this review. Alright guys, so chapter 1093 of One Piece. Before I get into it, a comment from my last video suggested that I do some live reactions. I always kind of felt that they were slightly redundant to do, but honestly, I've always wanted to do that, so I have no aversion, I should say, to doing that. So that's something I want to do. I was a little bit too late to doing that this time around, so not this chapter, but the following chapter. Also, my whole entire review of the One Piece live action is going to come out soon. I am so sorry about that. I'm slacking. To be honest, there's one section of the video that's holding me up that I don't want to record, and that's what's messing me up, but I just got to get this done. I'm upset with myself because the prime time to have released this video was a week ago, and I'm just stalling heavily. But anyway, what can I do? No excuses, but I'm going to get this video up. I made myself a promise. Anyway, we start off this chapter with a nice little cover art, and it is Kobe and Hamapo having their glasses stolen by these, how do you say it, Tarsier monkeys or whatever. So that was cute, but don't really care about that stuff. I'm here for the story, right? And so we start off where we left off last time, and Kizaru is in the clutches, the grasp of Gear 5 Luffy in gigantification mode. Also, really sad we didn't get to find anything further about the Iron Giant in the basement, so that was kind of sad. But still, honestly, a phenomenal chapter. One Piece isn't about the fights, but oh boy, was this chapter great because of the fight. So, Luffy has Kizaru in his hands, and also, I just want to say, I think I can finally just put aside. I haven't really ever just, what's the word I'm looking for here? I haven't made it official, but I'm gonna make it official now. I think Kizaru is my favorite admiral, man. I think I've been waiting. I think I've secretly been waiting for him to do more to justify it. But ever since he's shown up, I was like, there is more to than meets the eye with this dude. He has one of the most powerful devil fruits in the series, in my opinion. And the reason I say this is because I just feel like Light is one of the top tier, SS tier abilities that you can have in any fictional work. Obviously, you have reality warping and stuff like that that are going to trump it. But I feel like Light is that power in everything, in science fiction, in regular fiction, even in non-fiction. Light is this amazing power that can harness and utilize in so many ways. And I was like, this dude has that power, and I feel like he is only his own limitation. And I feel like he might have some reverse form of Pietro Maximoff syndrome. Quick segue. Basically, what that is for speedsters like the Flash or the Quicksilver, because of their ability to move so quick, they perceive the world much slower than everyone else. So me having this conversation with you guys right now, to them would be like, you have number done with. You get the point. I'm not going to do the whole thing. And so I always got this opinion because everyone has said this about Kizaru. He kind of acts like a high uncle, like a high grandpa, something of that degree, right? And so I always got this impression that like the way that Oda nerfed him was to make him like slow, not dim-witted, but like slow. Like he himself is slow, and so he can't fully take advantage of the light fruit, and that would be like his own undoing. But I just don't know. And now this whole unclear justice thing is starting to rear its head to me, that like there's so much more than meets the eye with Kizaru. He has so many qualms and conflictions with what's going on. He's always, as every time we've met him, he's always been someone about his duty. You have people like Akainu, who goes above and beyond what for his absolute justice. You have people like Aokiji that have lazy justice, that they're just going to decide not to do certain things if they don't want to do them. and you have Kizaru, who more or less doesn't do more or less what he's supposed, like, he only does what he's supposed to do, no more, no less. Even though I feel like there are times he's let people go, but for the most part, he just is down to be a dog for the government. You need me to go here? I'll do it. You want me to fight these Yonko? I'll do it. I'll handle it. And I've always felt like, okay, if this dude has so much confidence, if he is just that, like, that dude, then, like, why haven't we seen him fight people in the upper echelon more often, right? And so this whole situation, while Luffy has him, while Luffy is squeezing, while Luffy is like swinging him and stuff, he's just like, oh no, stop it. Don't hurt me. And I'm just like, I don't know why, but it goes so fucking hard for me. It goes so hard because, like, this is Gear 5, Awakened Luffy, the Nika Nika fruit, the most ridiculous fruit in the world, one of the most powerful Devil fruit. And Kizaru's just like, oh no, this is scary. Ah, stop it. Oh no, this hurts. Like, he is a fucking troll. He is a troll, and in the midst of danger, he is still trolling. And I, for the life of me, cannot tell if he is actually legitimately scared or if he's actually unbothered. And that, to me, is what makes him so cool. The only issue I have with this fight overall is that the stakes aren't there for me. There's no, like, emotional attachment. I mean, that's not true. That's not true at all. Because, you know, Kizaru is the dude that fucked Luffy and his crew up during Sabaody. He was kicking him across the island, doing all sorts of stuff, making light work of him. But he never really went too far. Didn't really ever kill anyone. I think, like, he tried to, but got stopped. But, like, he's never actually really done anything to Luffy and the Straw Hats. So, like, that's not quite there. There's no, like, village or town of people that need saving or rescuing. It's just kind of like Vegapunk and the Straw Hats that are in danger. But, like, it just seems like some kind of threat is missing. I'm not too concerned. And honestly, this doesn't feel like a major fight for me. I do not know why. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments, but, like, for some reason, I am not getting, like, a major vibe, like, big Clash of the Titans showdown right now with, like, Luffy and Kizaru. I know this is a major fight. I know that, like, this is a Yonko versus an Admiral. On paper, this is like whatever, but I'm just reading this like, oh my god. Maybe it's because I, in my head, have determined that, like, this is gonna be a interrupted fight. Like, the goal right here is to leave. We're not trying to stay here any longer than we need to. We don't have to force anything. We need to get Vegapunk and go. And I think because I had that in the back of my head, knowing that, like, okay, our goal here is to escape, not to fight, similar to, like, Big Mom in Whole Cake. Even though even that had higher stakes in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like stakes isn't the word I'm looking for. Maybe it's tension. I'm bad with these, like, vocab words. I wish I was like Mr. Morge and, like, just knew the, like, textbook definition of, like, you know, what the things I'm trying to convey are. I don't have that. All I know is what I can witness and what I can articulate to you guys. But it's a dope fight. Anyway, Luffy winds up and then sends Kizaru flying, so that was really dope. So while that's happening, you have everyone back at the computer, and Atlas decides she's gonna go out and go rescue Bonnie, to which Vegapunk also says, I'm going to go too. They're like, hey, that's a really bad idea. We're trying to protect you. You're the one we're trying to save. You're the one we're trying to, get the hell out of Dodge. Why would you, put yourself in danger? And, so I go on a really long tangent about Bonnie potentially being a lot younger than we think, but I butchered this part coming up, so let me explain myself. Atlas wants to go down because she realizes that as soon as they put the shields down, they're gonna get blasted by lasers from the Pacifista anyway, so it's in their best interest to shut them down. And Vegapunk wants to go because he realized that Bonnie was down there and he's trying to save her because he has some clear, like, attachment promise, something going on there with her. One, it's to get Bonnie. For some reason, once again, this is like the third time they've alluded to her being a little girl. I just double checked the wiki. She's estimated to be 24 right now. She's older than like Luffy and a bunch of the other Straw Hats, minus, Frankie, Robin, and Jinbei, and Brooke, of course. And so I'm like, why do they keep calling her little girl? And this entire thing has been super, super confusing because we know that there was some kind of flashback, I want to say like 20 years ago or something, where Joribani was on Egghead Island. So the only thing I can think of at this point is she was either sent into the like future past or the future or something like that, but that's impossible. I don't think Toki had any interaction with them, and I don't think Vegapunk has established any ability to do something like that. Um, which leads me to think that the Joribani that we know are and are looking at is not the Joribani from the past. Maybe something really tragic happened. She died. Kuma made Vegapunk make like a clone of her or something, and then used his Paw abilities to push out the memories from Joribani into this clone so that this clone thinks she's Joribani, and then they gave it a devil fruit or some shit. I don't know. I'm just riffing. I'm spitballing. But like, there is more than meets the eye with Joribani. There has to be some goddamn reason Oda keeps repeating, and iterating that she is this little girl, that she is a young girl. There has to be something there going on. So I'm very curious to when Oda is going to finally decide to like reveal that, right? So Joribani has also been thrown through the Frontier Dome, which, by the way, we were told earlier that this Frontier Dome, especially being at 100%, is like really dangerous, really lethal. Yet we have Luffy going back and forth through it. That's one thing. He's the main character. He's a rubber man. He's got the Nika fruit. He's like gear 5, all that. Understandable, right? But like Joribani though, it's a little bit more harder to believe. It's a little bit weird to me, but whatever. I guess this Frontier Dome either isn't as strong as we think it is, or we can just elevate Joribani and be like, nah, she's just that tough. She's just that chick that she can survive that kind of thing. So, as she's thrown, she's caught by none other than Sentomaru. Sentomaru got the mess beat out of him by Kizaru. He's all black and charred, but somehow, some way, he was still able to find enough strength in order to catch Joribani. Whether or not that was a matter of just him having insane durability and endurance, or Kizaru intentionally leaving him alive, is up to you, the reader, to interpret. But I think it's a little bit of both. I'm going to decide to do that aspect of it. Also, it's super interesting to me that like just everyone seems to really want to protect Joribani. And when I say everyone, I'm just talking about like everyone from Egghead, Vegapunk to Sentomaru. There just seems to be some kind of sentimentality towards her. Maybe Sentomaru is in on the promise or whatever happened to Kuma. He was the captain, the science captain leader of the original Pacifista, so I wouldn't put it past him for him to know specific information that us, the reader, don't know, but is relevant to the deal that Kuma made with Vegapunk and exactly what's happening with Vegapunk, what's going on with this Paul, what's going on with these memories, what's happening with Joribani. So we cut away from that and we get back to the fights, right? And we don't see them, but we hear Luffy going, hey, Zoro, you need help? Basically talking to Zoro as Zoro is fighting Luffy, which a little bit disrespectful. I kind of fuck with it though, because it hypes Luffy, because he's like, yeah, I know I'm fighting Admiral right now, but I don't mind coming down and like, swinging taking a blow or two towards Lucci if you want. And Zoro's like, no, I got this. You worry about Kizaru. And we see him clashing with Lucci, and Zoro's basically like, you don't, with like the level of strength you are right now, you're like nothing for my captain. Like he shouldn't bother with you, essentially, which is super cool. But I have a lot of conflictions right now because I am not quite sure where I want to power scale Lucci. Obviously he's powerful, obviously he's strong, he's awakened, right? So he has a lot of strength and power to him, but where does he compare to like a Yonko commander level, a Yonko, an admiral type deal? And also, like, it just is a little bit underwhelming because this is an old villain that Luffy has already put away, beat, and then Luffy already put him away and beat him again. And Zoro seems to be struggling, which I don't like. I'm a Zoro fanboy. I'm not going to deny that. I am biased for Zoro. I want positive feats for Zoro all the time. And it just, this isn't quite doing it for me unless we find out like Lucci is like really that dude. Because all Lucci has really done impressive wise since, you know, being reintroduced into the series is like one-shotting Sentomaru. And honestly, this hasn't been a real good showcase for Sentomaru. He got one shot by, he got I feel like he got beat by Luffy again when like they came back from Sabaody. I can't remember. He got one shot by Lucci, and then he got messed up by Kizaru. But then again, Kizaru's an admiral. But like, it's not a great place to scale, so I don't really get it. Yeah, so my backdrop just fell. That was awkward. But one thing I also I wanted to say was a lot of people are gonna be like, "What are you talking about? That's impressive." He's fighting an awakened Zoan, and not only is he fighting an awakened Zoan, that awakened Zoan is Rob Lucci, who is like, you know, a known, you know, predator, assassin, you know, major up. And I'm just like, come on, guys, like let's be real. Like, yeah, Rob Lucci is a cool character. Don't get me wrong, and he was phenomenal in, you know, Ennis Lobby and whatnot. But like, you cannot tell me you can equate Rob Lucci to like the kind of people end game I'm talking about. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. Copen is for Sanji fans, not Zoro fans. We don't do that. But it's not really a great place to scale, so I don't really get it. But yeah, Goro's essentially holding his own against Lucci. I really, really hope he doesn't get too injured. I really hope this is like a mid diff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it to be hard diff, extreme diff, because then that's like, fuck, man. Like, Lucci took you to like hard extreme diff when there's like so many other bigger threats out there. I kind of want this to be a mid diff thing. I will be satisfied if it's along the lines of the who's who Jinbei fight, where Jinbei more or less wasn't really into the fight, more or less wasn't really trying, and you know who's who is talking shit and you know doing not that much damage to Jinbei, but he is, you know, like wounding him a little bit. And then, you know, Jinbei, when he's had enough of the fight, when he's had enough of the racism, he's like, okay, time for you to go night night, and then ends the fight. I'm kind of hoping it's like that with Zoro, where okay, Lucci's gonna do a couple things. He's gonna get some Shigans on Zoro. He's gonna annoy Zoro, and Zoro's gonna be like, all right, I'm done with this. Time to end this. I was trying to like put you down like quietly, but like let me just end this now, and then just bow. King of Hell's him. It's over. So anyway, the hype train for Kizaru continues, and he is flying towards the ocean. It looks amazing, the like drawing, in my opinion. And once again, just Kizaru goes so hard because he's like flying towards it. He's like, oh no, I'm heading towards the ocean. Whatever will I do? And then just turns to light and immediately changes his trajectory back. I think a lot of people are confused about that. So it's really confusing. The only thing I can think of is that like Luffy holding him with Haki changed him back to his original form, and like when he threw him he was in his original form, and then he, now that you know he's not being, you know, directly contacted by Luffy's Haki, who was able to turn into light. Light is weightless, so like he immediately was able to stop his trajectory because he has no mass, he has no weight, and then he just set himself flying back. Now, the super, super cool part is there are these various multiple light particles, right? And each light particle turns into a clone of Kizaru. And I was like, that is fucking tough. And I don't think, I'm trying to remember if we've ever seen something like that before. I know we had Mr. 3 with the wax fruit. Doflamingo with his. I know we've had, did Katakuri do it? Then we had Katakuri's sister, Brule. Robin can make clones. So I know I just said I don't know if we've ever seen people make clones of the Devil Fruit before and just listed off a bunch of people that make clones of the Devil Fruit, but don't listen to me. I meant use clones in this way. I don't know. Anyway, these clones are actually able to do damage to Luffy. And now at first I was like, wait, maybe it's just the Kizaru within the mix of the clones doing the actual damage. But then we find out later, no, the real Kizaru isn't even among these clones. So these clones, or quote unquote holograms, were actually able to do damage to Luffy. And that is actually crazy impressive to me. Because in just, first of all, in most media in general, clones only have a fraction of the power of their original like hosts, right? So that in and of itself is pretty cool, right? So the whole situation is really dope. And I really, really love this next part only because it's close to home. So I'm a martial artist, Victory Martial Arts, that's where I work. And I remember when I was younger, Master Kurt, my master, taught us this one move in sparring where it looks like you're running away, but you're actually setting up for a back kick. And I was dying laughing because in this section of the in this section of the manga, it reminded me exactly of like what I was taught. You run away, you take a couple steps, boom, 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 and then as the person that's like gaining on you or coming towards you shows up, you chamber and you pretty much mule kick them, and that's basically essentially what Luffy did with his his booming dawn stamp, and is able to clear out all of the clones. Now, Luffy thinks he's the one who got the better of um Kizaru, but Kizaru is actually the one who got the better of him because then Luffy notices that Kizaru is actually at the lab and he is choking the mess out of Usopp. Now, what I really love about this panel though is you see Usopp holding his slingshot. To me, I choose to believe that Usopp was like trying to like fight him, like shoot Kizaru while he was holding him, and you see Brook holding a sword to Kizaru, and Nami have her climb attack ready. It's sparking, and I was like, yo, that is tough. That is tough. Go, okay, Straw Hat crew. Y'all ain't gonna do shit, but I respect and love the fact that y'all are willing to try, that you're like, get your hands off my mans right now. And that was tough, and I really like that. Like I said, they can't really do much, but the fact that they were willing to try and that they were willing to put their life on the line to like get this dude off their friend meant a lot to me. So anyway, while that's happening, Vegapunk is in the Vega Tank 8, I believe it's called, and it's him, Atlas, and for some reason they didn't let Sanji inside, so he's like riding on the top of the thing. And Vegapunk's once again just talking about how I can't let a little girl get murdered. There's something to that, I fucking swear. But Kizaru's like, oh, Vegapunk, that's where you are. And so he fires off a beam at the Vegapunks, right? But Luffy jumps in immediately and eats the goddamn laser beam. And on top of that, instead of it making like a hole or burning him or anything like that, you just see like light emanating from like a bunch of his orifices and stuff. And I'm just like, yo, Gear 5 Luffy is crazy. This is the rough thing about like One Piece and power scaling though. I like Gear 5. I have some qualms about it being the Nika no Mi and whatnot, but I think Gear 5 is cool. I just need established rules, right? And I know that Oda's not that type of mangaka. He's not that type of guy. I get it. I'm not trying to make him anyone he's not. And I do enjoy the series, but I do think that there will be a problem later on with stakes, tension, and whatever, what have you, if we don't know the exact limits of Gear 5. Because right now it's just arbitrary. Oh, he gets tired. How quickly does he get tired? When does he get tired? How bad are the ramifications? They're like speculative and up in the air. And that's kind of my problem. I like to have a general idea of like what's going on, when to know like, oh, Luffy just did this. That means he doesn't have this much time left. Uh-oh, this just happened. So that like he's in a bit of a pickle. But like we are constantly seeing more and more utilizations of the ability, more and more things it can do, more and more things it's like impervious to, and like there's just so many aspects to it, and that's cool. Anytime a character gets a new form, obviously we're gonna like that's gonna happen. Obviously there's gonna be like moments like that where we're gonna get used to it. We're gonna like have to like fill it in. It happened with Gear 2, Gear 3, and stuff like that. But like not this isn't really a complaint. It's just kind of acknowledging a fact. It's just acknowledging the fact that like where does it start, where does it stop with Gear 5? Anyway, Atlas, thanks to Luffy, is able to make it down, and she gives the order to all the Pacifista to wipe out all of the Marines. Which, Honestly, huzzah for her. Great job. But because Vegapunk is a naive idiot, he has the Gorosei listed higher. Now, maybe you can say he had orders to, maybe he had people watching over him, making sure that the authority order was, that their authority order was the highest. Um, Maybe Vegapunk just thought the Gorosei never leave Mary Joie, so there will never be a situation where like they'll be able to oversee my authority. Well, this is really cool and all, and maybe it's going to hold them back for a while, but I think Jay Garcia is going to see that, okay, Kizaru's struggling, Marines are struggling, it's time for me to like ugh, do it myself. And I think they're in for a rude awakening. No one knows that Jay Garcia is here besides Kizaru, so he's really gonna have that, surprise attack on lock. And if he is strong, like we are kind of alluded to believing, this is gonna be a big problem because who's around to fight him? Is it gonna be Joribani? Zoro's tied up with Lucci right now. Is it going to be Sanji? I mean, Sanji's down there, so maybe Sanji will give it a whirl. But maybe Sanji is just going to end up being the measuring stick we use to figure out just how powerful Jay Garcia is. And Sanji is like maybe Jay Garcia is going to try to attack. No, Joribani's not. Yeah, Joribani's still down there, so maybe Jay Garcia is going to try to attack Joribani. Sanji's going to be like, hell nah, try to attack Jay Garcia and just get worked. Anyway, I'm going to leave the review here for the day. This is a phenomenal chapter. I'm super eager. I can't wait to find out more about Kizaru. I can't wait to get actual better flashbacks and find out more about his personality, why he is the way he is. I can tell that he's going to be such an interesting character because why is he like this? Why is he just so cool with just working for the world government and just doing what they want? And if you like think about it and realize this is like the first time he's really been conflicted. I think like in his career, he's just always had to go out and people are just, nameless faces, right? But now for the first time in his career, things that he's doing are actually affecting people that he knows, actually affecting people that he likes, that he has relationships with, that he's built like rapport and like comradeship with. And so it's starting to bother him a little bit. And maybe he's going to be at a breaking point of where he has to decide, hey, is working for the Marines really for me? Is working for the world government really for me? Is working for the Gorosei really for me? Like, they're making me do things that, like, I really don't want to do. People that I've been comrades with and friends with are, like, siding with pirates. Pirates are protecting people that I care about, and I'm the one that has to take them out?
Are we the baddies?
Aokiji left? Was there maybe something there? Is there something he knew that I didn't? Akainu is kind of wild, so like, huh? Is this the point where he's gonna decide, you know what? Maybe it is time for me to like leave the Marines. Or maybe this is gonna bolster his ambitions and his core, because to this day, we don't know why any of the admirals joined the Marines. We still don't know that about any of them. We saw pictures of them when they were children, and some of them looked like they were poor. We have, Aokiji had a bottle. Akainu had like a knife, and he looked roughed up. The only one that looked like they came up pretty decently well was actually Kizaru. He's like looks like he's studying and reading. Kizaru seems like a really smart person. He kind of reminds me of me in a way, who learned a lot of lessons from One Piece and stuff, and has applied them to his own life. And maybe like the things that he read and stuff. Maybe it's a situation where he believes in not the greater good in terms of like, yeah, he has to do some really effed up things, but lump sum total, it's a necessary evil to create an overall good. And maybe that's what he believes. I don't know, and I hope we find out soon. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning into Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD. Much love. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And have a great weekend, guys. Take care. Peace.